Guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought I would take you guys behind the scenes and show you a little bit deeper of a view into the workflows tab inside of HoneyBook. So last week I gave an overview of HoneyBook, how I use it in my business for portrait, wedding, and mentor clients, and I got a lot of questions about how I use this workflow tab here and just what I do, how many workflows I have, how many steps I have. So I'm really just going to show you guys how I use it in my business and how you might want to use it in yours as well. But essentially, this is going to be how you stop doing the same tasks over and over and over again. And if you have a notebook in front of you that basically says, remember to send this person a client gift, remember to send this gallery, remember to ask for a review, remember to follow up with them about their engagement session, and you just feel like you have so much going on in your head and not enough automations in your business, this is going to be really, really helpful for you and free up a lot of mental space. So I'm going to start showing you around. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep the video on screen for this because I don't know how. I'm not fancy over here. But I'm going to first show you how to create some automations. I'm going to show you inside of my wedding automations and exactly how I guess the workflows that I use in my own business and what sort of client journey my clients go on. And then I'm going to give you some tips for how you can create these for yourself. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is click this create workflow. Now, the first thing I want to do is title it. So let's just say it's a test video YouTube workflow. Now, this is the title and this is what you'll see on the previous page. And let's go ahead and create a task. There are 4 things that you can do for every single step. And a task is going to populate over in your tasks box on your homepage or in your tasks tab, so that this will be a good reminder for you of what needs to happen in your business. What I like to do is send a welcome gift. And I'm going to do this 0 days after activating the workflow, which means as soon as I turn this on, it's going to say, hey, Joy, you need to send them a welcome gift. The next thing I like to do is send them some kind of welcome email. All right, so let's say that we're sending them just a thank you email. This is going to be a day, immediately. If I put it at 0, I can set it to 1 day after activating the workflow. I can set it to 2 days after the workflow, but you have some options here as to what you want to trigger this action based off of. So if you want it to be before the project date, you can set it by that. But for this specific type of thing, I think it's great to say after activating the workflow or after the previous step is complete. So let's just say that you set it to be after the previous step is complete. This is going to send 2 days after you check off that you sent their welcome gift. So I would rather it be after the workflow is turned on. And I'm just going to set that to 0 days. Another option that you have here is to approve before sending or have it send automatically. Now you can always hover over these little information boxes and they will share with you some more detail as to what exactly they're saying here. But I think that if you have it set to approve before sending, it's going to be better for you because you can customize those emails and make sure that they don't sound so canned. Another thing that you might want to do is send a questionnaire. So let's say that you want to send out a questionnaire. Let's say that you want to do a wedding day questionnaire. Now, for this one, I really like to set it based on the project date. So let's say you want to do this 30 days before the project. That way, regardless of whatever is happening inside of your workflow, regardless of whether or not you fell behind checking off some of these things, it's gonna go out to your client either way. Now, I like to have it approved before sending, so HoneyBook will just pop up a little reminder for me and say, hey, don't forget to send them the 30-day, in advance wedding day questionnaire. Another thing that I like to do is have it send a brochure out automatically. So you can do all kinds of different brochures. Let's just say that we want to show them albums and heirlooms, and we want to show them the options for what they could do with their wedding photographs. So let's say that about 21 days after their project, so after the wedding, this is 3 weeks after the wedding, I want to send them a quick email and be like, hey guys, by now you're enjoying your images. let's talk about how you can have these images stay alive, experience them in your everyday life, and not forget about these amazing digital files, and make sure that they don't just end up on your computer and only on Facebook, because that would be a shame. Okay, so let's go back and look into my workflow. This is my wedding workflow here. And this is what I have set up for my actual clients. You'll see that I have thank you for booking email that goes out immediately. It makes a task immediately saying, let's send a client gift. The next thing you'll see is 3 days after the workflow starts, I send a vendor recommendation. So this is really helpful for my couples, but it's also great for me because then I get to work with my friends, people that I trust, and people who have worked with me in the past, and we just love working together. Then I send a relationship questionnaire after this has already happened. And of course, all of these are set to approve before sending. So nothing is going to happen without my permission, but you could set it up so that it happens completely automatically. I just don't want emails going to my clients that are completely canned. I want them to be 99% written, and then I just go through and make sure that they make sense. Like if we've already talked about this stuff, I don't want to say like, hey, I don't know anything about you. Or if we're friends in real life, I might be like, hey, I know this is a little bit silly, but this helps me to make sure that I have this information, and I like to share it with my second shooter. I like to add little things that personalize these things so that they don't feel like they're going through some sort of like email automation funnel. So this is just a little insight into what I do personally. I'm going to go ahead and scroll to the end so that you can see the different steps. Now, another thing you can do is you can move these around. So don't feel like you're married to any one sequential order. And then at the end, I like to have all the steps that are not based on a previous step just be stored at the end. So for example, 40 days before the project date, oops, this should be after. Let me see, after the project date. There we go. All right, so 40 days after the project date, we get a wedding day testimonial. So now it's your turn. The first thing I want you to do is to pull out a single sheet of paper and think about your client journey. Some things that you might have on your workflow that you might want to set into your automations are emails, client gifts, meetings, any education that you might have for your couple, like an email that would send them to a blog post about what to wear, how to pick out a session location, etc., and sending questionnaires or gathering information from your clients. These are all things that may be a part of that client journey. But don't overcomplicate it. You can always add, you can always change this stuff later. So start out with just trying to write out maybe 10 or 15 steps that you take all of your clients through and things that you definitely don't want to forget. This is stuff that you do on the back end as well that your clients may never actually see, just like, you know, backing up the files, sending your second photographer the information before the wedding, or sending them their cards back, or sending them their payment, anything like that. I have inside of my workflow just so that I don't forget all that prep before a shoot, and I don't have to keep it in my brain. So I'm excited to see what you guys create in your own workflows. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.